Here. What's up, everybody? Happy hump day. Happy Wednesday, September 1, 2021. It is the middle of the last week before the week of NFL Week 1, and baseball is chugging right along. Last night, we saw $1 million awarded to a Phillies and Yankees stack. So congratulations to anyone who won big last night. Looking at the DraftKings live page, there was a couple of big scores. Ahmed Rosario double donged one of them by way of the inside the park variety. You guys had a piece of him. Nice. Blake Snell, best pitcher on the board. 7 innings, 10 strikeouts. Did not allow a hit. And it was a decision to take him out at 107 pitches when he was doing what he was doing. But they did it. So Blake Snell's really found a stretch of looking like old Blake Snell. And I mentioned yesterday, I can't recall ever seeing a stretch of Blake Snell getting this many bullets to throw, 100 plus pitches in more of his last 6 games than I've probably ever seen him pitch. So he's on one right now, and he's definitely looking like a fixture that they expected him to be when they picked him up from Tampa Bay. Zach Plesac, 31.95 DKP, 7 innings, a strikeout per inning. He only allowed 2 hits. I had none of that. I can't pretend to have some of that. I just didn't. Matt Chapman, he's been locked in. A couple homers for him. Andrew McCutchen was looking really good on the bomb detector. He ended up doing really, really good. I think he was the linchpin of all the first place lineups that I saw. Nori Aoki, you remember him? Former Mariners great, former Astros great. He's on the KBO grind, it looks like. But other than that, it was kind of a quiet slate, right? Just a couple normal bombs from people you expect to drop bombs. And the Phillies and Yankees. The Yankees didn't necessarily put up a ton of big runs yesterday, right? They nickel and dime their way. They had 10 hits. They ended up losing thanks to a bunch of double plays, but it was a modest night in terms of top end scoring. So hopefully you guys made out on the right side. The big news, I think the big blow of the slate was Lucas Giolito. Got injured in the fourth inning, had a hamstring tightness, had already allowed 2 earnings, but he got pulled there. So really tanked 50-60% of the field from the go, and that was a huge hit. So if you ended up light on him versus the field, which was not hard to do, he was 57% owned in my contest, then yeah, you were a step ahead of the rest. And that's just an example of the failure rate in baseball for whatever reason, variance, what have you. Not like he was pitching a gem for his sake. And then the other pretty trendy pitcher, I guess, was Walker Buehler last night. And he was a Mookie Betts home run robbery away from even worse than this 18 DKP. Still went 7 strong, but didn't rack up the strikeouts, and he was another guy I was pretty fixated on. So Giolito and Walker Buehler having less than stellar nights hit a lot of the field. But the Blake Snell guys got there. I was also, Jameson Taillon was looking pretty strong to start that Angels game, and then he fell really, really flat, and the Angels ended up getting to him. So kind of a weird night for pitching when Zach Plesac makes it to the top. So I hope you guys did all right. If you didn't, there's always tomorrow, and tomorrow is today. And today we got plenty of baseball, and we also have plenty of we got 2 games that were postponed due to this storm cell, which I think is affecting a lot of y'all as well. I'm in a couple of chats where people are just hunkering down, not thinking about DFS today, getting ready to brace themselves for potential power outage, and maybe that also is a catalyst in our chat being a little light right now. So if you guys are out there, you do end up seeing this or what have you, man. I hope you guys stay safe, and don't worry about DFS if you don't have to, right? It'll be here tomorrow. So you're what a dang lazy mofo. It's quiet in this Pentecostal church, let me tell you what. But I'd rather you guys be safe than this chat be bumping. So anyway, I'm going to chop up the slate, I guess, as best I can. So even if you are watching this on a little bit of a delay, we'll try and do what we do. Last night, I began the process of launching the new RunDFS.com website because of certain things that I needed on the back end. I had to put it live in order for some of these URLs to be, it's a lot of nerd jargon, and then I had to have my SSL certificate process, which took half the day. So I hate to have, I don't want to say a dead website, but I hate to have an unfinished website live, but it is live. So essentially we moved from a vBulletin software to a WordPress software. So if you guys were active VIPers and not in the Discord, I really need you guys to reach out to me on Twitter if you can, or email me, gunbacker@live.com, and I'll make sure that you are getting the content that you pay for. But if you do get VIP, I highly recommend getting in the RunDFS.com VIP Discord, man. That's where a lot of the value is. And then hopefully by tonight, the website will be just fully operational, ready to go. It's quasi operational now. The only thing I have to do now is add some of the premium only pages, but I had to wait on the SSL certificate to go through. So I ended up going to sleep while it was live, and when I woke up, it was waiting on me. So we're good. But I had to jump on the air and get this going before we could before I can get to work. So we are migrating to an operational website. This website will be a lot more user friendly. It would be a lot more aesthetically pleasing for mobile and tablet users, and then of course those of you that are just not privy to like spreadsheets, I'm gonna probably have pages where it's just displayed on the site. So look out for that. Because of the migration, and it is September 1st. I've been warning you guys that the prices go up. I have launched a promo code for any pass that you get. Promo code GUN, GUN, gets you 20% off. If you get a pass like while I'm on the air, and don't see the content, don't be alarmed. I'll get that fixed for you as soon as I get off the air. But yeah, promo code GUN is good for the I guess today. And yeah, what's up, K Johnson? I'm still trying to figure out how I cashed on a wax late last night. Yeah, man, it was Anthony Rizzo hit a really late homer for me to profit, and I didn't think I had a shot at profiting because I had Giolito and a lot of my top stuff, but I did. So it was like a really low scoring night. There was a lot of high owned like little scores, like Lewis Robert. He was like 20% zero. You know what I'm saying? There was a bunch of decently owned zeros throughout the slate. So I think that helped. But yeah, what up, Solid Picks? What up, Tyler? Blue Jays gonna smash today after letting everyone down so far. Got a slot machine. I think George Springer was a reason for that. The Blue Jay stack let people down. The Yankees, right? The Yankees didn't really pop off in terms of power. Rizzo got that bomb, but the rest was just a bunch of hits, which immediately got erased with 5 double plays. Like, come on. What can you do? But let's top up some baseball here. We'll go game by game, and you guys know the drill. If you've already done a little bit of research, you looked at some of these games, be sure to drop your 2 cents in the chat. My 2 cents is free. All you got to do is hit that thumbs up. I got to the video today, and somebody already hit the thumbs down, which is more thumbs down than we've had in like a week. So, hater in the house. Let's negate the haters with the thumbs up. So show me some love, and then of course the thumbs up is good juju, good karma, and it's been scientifically proven to increase your odds at catching really, really big tonight. And you just can't argue with science. You just can't. What up, Sean? Anyway, let's get into it. Game number 1. Remember, Phillies and the Mets games have been postponed due to the storm. So we're going to go straight over to a weird West Coast 7 p.m. game. Yankees and the Angels finishing out their series. Angels looking for that sweep. Garrett Cole looking to lift his team up. Remember, because of this game being in California, it's in the afternoon, so it's going to be a little bit hotter than usual, and maybe the ball will carry a little bit better. But Garrett Cole's on the bump for the Yankees. Yankees have an implied total of 5.5. The Angels 3.2. This is a big spot for Garrett Cole to right the ship, and he's under 10K, and that just seems wrong, right? 9.9K for Garrett Cole is probably going to inflate his ownership even more than it should be. I talked about this yesterday, and I just couldn't get away from Jameson Taillon. And it wasn't necessarily that I thought Taillon was a good play. It was just look at the strikeout rates in the Angels lineup. We're going to have more of the same today. In this projected lineup, only David Fletcher and Jose Iglesias have a sub 26% K rate. So there's a lot of 1 and 5s and a lot of 1 and 4.5s, right? A lot of 1 and 3s almost. So Garrett Cole, who is a strikeout pitcher, could have his way and have himself an extreme ceiling game. And I really think that I'm going to be a buyer in that. So Garrett Cole's probably going to be my favorite pitcher on the slate. The 9.9K just makes it even sweeter and maybe softens the landing if they do get him. In his last outing against the Angels, I think I remember Justin Upton homering off of him and Shohei Ohtani just missing one shy of the warning track. But outside of that, like, he was dicing him up. So Garrett Cole for sure for me. Packy Naughton is pitching for the Angels today. He's only got 5 innings of sample size, so I'm not going to rate his poor numbers so far. 13% K rate to righties, 0% to lefties, almost a 6 xFIP to both sides of the plate. So I think it's fair if we go pull up his minor league card and just kind of give you more of an idea of what we might expect from him. With that said, he's a left-handed pitcher, and the Yankees have some right-handed power. Judge, Stanton, Luke Voit probably makes this lineup. Guys like that, Giovanni Urshela has been doing well. In the minors, Packy Naughton, this is not his minor. I guess we just look at his overall. Sometimes when some of these guys get transferred to the bigs, their minor league splits display not the same. And I really do. I guess I gotta maybe do some research on how to get the minor league stuff to present, but I don't have that here. But what I do have is his overall minor stats: 60 innings, 55 strikeouts, a 1.48 WHIP. So that's a really high WHIP. Can we find homers allowed? I guess we'll just look at his last couple game logs or last couple games in the minors. Chad, if anybody out there knows of like a better site to pull up minor league stats, I would definitely be interested in perusing said site. 4 homers in the month of July in 25 innings, 3 homers in 9 innings in the month of June. So yeah, Packy Naughton doesn't seem like a blow you away pitcher, less than a strikeout per inning, and he's got the Yankees today. So give me the Yankees stack right off the bat. And remember, this is a day game for all intents and purposes, being in California. So Yankee stack, Garrett Cole, yeah. Shohei Ohtani, you can play him today. He's 6,500. Like I said, he just missed one off of Cole in that last series. Ohtani's really, really good. He still strikes out quite a bit, but definitely wouldn't stun me if Ohtani got into one. I don't think I get to 6,500 Ohtani much on the grand scheme of today's slate. Even if he does homer at that price point, you essentially need that. But he does give you such a high floor as a player, right? Yesterday we saw him participate in a double still to end up with him stealing home. So sure, but I don't have any interest in the rest of this Angels lineup. So Cole, Yankees, yeah. What's up, Tyler? I had the Yankees yesterday. Was upset with all the double plays. Still profited, but yeah, no, the Yankees definitely kept the racing. I don't think I've recalled a 5 double play game from the Yankees, and a lot of them came off. I think Stanton had 2 of them. They were Joey Gallo. Crazy stat about Gallo. If you guys haven't heard this one floating around, he has like 3 double plays in like his last 15 at bats, and he came into the Yankees system. I don't know what the number is, but it was like less than 10 double plays in his career. And now he's got like 3 in bunches. So I didn't memorize the exact numbers, but that was the gist of that crazy stat. So it's just an unfortunate time for the ball to start hitting the ground and catching gloves. And somebody tweeted at me yesterday that they wish Stanton would stop hitting the ball on the ground. And I'm not gonna overreact to what happened yesterday. Giancarlo Stanton, Joey Gallo, I mean, these guys are the reason StatCast exists. So if they're going to put the ball in play, I'd take my chances on a fielder getting blown back by a 12-gauge ground ball from Giancarlo Stanton. But it was just unfortunate that just kept happening yesterday in big spots. So, K. Johnson, you got the best info. I'll go with what you got, man. I appreciate that, K. Johnson. That's love. I appreciate that. Blue Jays hosting the Orioles. Matt Harvey taking on Steven Matz. Matt Harvey, 5,600 on DraftKings. Probably not getting there today. Steven Matz, 8,300. Seemed like the Blue Jays have a big stretch of left-handed pitching leading their charge. They went Ray, Ryu, and now Matz. And the Orioles have had a couple of sneaky bats against lefties. But this is another spot where they're severe dogs. I think Trey Mancini had the night off last night. Today, Mancini probably back in the mix. I don't know if they're rotating days off or what. Steven Matz is 8,300 on DraftKings. He's got a 19% K rate to righties so far this season and almost a 30% K rate to lefties. This Orioles lineup more than likely only features Cedric Mullins in terms of southpaw hitting. So that's going to be enough for me to think that this is not a big strikeout spot for Steven Matz on that 19% K rate. And because of some of the bigger strikeout names that are on the slate, the Garrett Cole, Max Scherzers, Chris Sales, Carlos Rodon, like I really feel like Steven Matz becomes ultimately expendable in the grand scheme of things. So I probably don't get there with any level of confidence or any significant ownership. Looking at his last couple games, he has that 29 DKP game against the Cleveland Indians, but outside of that, I could do without every return on his last 10 games. So I probably don't roster Steven Matz at all today. But if I did, it would be back end, 1 to 3%, something like that, just to diversify a pitching player pool. On the Matt Harvey side of things, it does feel like he's been a little bit more trolly lately, but he's certainly still not a lockdown pitcher by any stretch of the imagination. Looking at his last couple games, a couple walks here and there. He didn't give up a bomb to Tampa in his last start, but he still gave up 4 hits, a walk, and a couple of earnings. Prior to that, 2 bombs, 1 bomb, 1 bomb. So I think at best, Matt Harvey's a below average pitcher, and the Blue Jays home offense is an above average offense, so I'm going to keep taking my chances here. Matt Harvey definitely has elevated his ground ball rate, at least to righties, or sustained that ground ball rate the last 3 seasons. So maybe he does troll his way through suppressing power from the Blue Jays' pretty righty-heavy lineup, but you have to like your chances of them, getting a couple of sandwiches off of Matt Harvey and then getting into the meal, the true creme de la creme, which is that Balticore's bullpen. So Blue Jay Stack is going to continue to be pretty popular, and they're going to be pretty high projected. Vladdy Guerrero, a couple days in a row with some homers, big average, big ISOs. It's a good spot for the Blue Jays. So give me the Blue Jays here for sure. I do think if they trend to be one of the highest owned stacks on the slate, I would probably walk backwards and just find that as a potential leverage spot, just because Harvey's ground ball rate against righties and his hard contact allowed this season of righties could maybe suppress some power, and I just feel like I'll bet the failure rate and go somewhere else. But I don't actually have a pulse for stack ownerships yet. I don't like to check out that until I've got like a feel for the raw stats of the slate. So just kind of keeping that in mind. Against Steven Matz, he will allow some homers, over 1 homer per 9 this season to righties. Last couple of years, well over 1 cumulatively. Ryan Mountcastle, Trey Mancini, Anthony Santander, sprinkle them, get them where I can get them. Austin Hayes in the mix. Those are the main 4 for me on the Orioles side. I would almost wouldn't be against getting to an Orioles stack here, and because I looking at like the core of this lineup, even Pedro Severino, I think he's a good power hitting catcher that's usually pretty cheap. I wouldn't be against the Orioles stack here. In some low equity in the back end of my multi-entry, just because they could get to Matz here. Matz is somebody that is a contact pitcher, does allow a decent average and some opportunity at some homers. A 35% fly ball rate isn't fantastic, but you put the ball in play, you pair that fly ball rate, the line drive rate, put that all together, I think there's a chip and a chair for the Orioles, who probably are better against lefties conglomerately than they are against righties. So there's not a 0% chance that they're good, right? And I think that's what has me slightly intrigued, especially projecting them in my head to not be sought after. So if 5% equity on the Orioles stack is enough for me to feel like I got a decent deal, I'm gonna take it. So I probably get to a little bit of Orioles. Obviously the Blue Jays are looking really, really good. No pitchers for me. I wouldn't push back if you came at me with some Steven Matz interest, but I just feel like he's expendable compared to what else is on the slate. What up, Sean? What up, Lorenza? I'm glad to see you guys are doing all right here. Like I said, some of you guys in the path of some rain. I'm more worried about y'all staying safe. Dang lazy mofos, in the great words of Denny. That was yesterday. Today is today, though. Hey, yo, Gun, what you think about stacking against Clayton Kershaw? I miss Denny. Red Sox at the Rays. Next game on the docket, Chris Sale taking the bump. Taking on Drew Rasmussen. Red Sox are having an outbreak of the C word. YouTube does not like that word, by the way. We have seen several guys go down for this protocol list yesterday in the middle of the game. Hey, Xander, come here for a second. You have it. You've got the Rona. What? Should we shut the game down? Because I've been talking to everybody. No. It'll be all right. Just leave. Today, Yairo Munoz comes out as positive. So he just added to the list. They've got themselves a full-fledged outbreak. So unfortunate timing for the Red Sox, because they have to string together some wins as they're fighting for that second wild card spot. But just hey, man, it happened. Yankees went through it too. So Chris Sale's on the bump for the Red Sox today. He's taking on a Rays team that right now is projected to be a little bit of non-strikeouts and a lot of bit of big strikeouts. And Chris Sale is Chris Sale. You know, he's one of those guys that can overpower the matchup in terms of getting his own strikeouts. And he's, you know, right at him to the list, to Scherzers, to Coles, guys like that. He can go up there and get you the 25 DKP. Hasn't exceeded 90 pitches yet, 89, 71, 80. So maybe we still got that chip on our shoulder on trusting Chris Sale to be unleashed. When Sale has been at his finest in terms of a DFS play, that's when he was able to throw 100, 110 pitches. So I don't want to speak on behalf of Core and what the plan is for Sale in terms of pitch count, but I don't love that they haven't stretched him out. But I guess, you know, they had a 12-2 lead over Minnesota, so there really wasn't a reason to get extra aggressive. But in the pitches that we have seen and the body of work that he has completed, he's been a monster. Over a strikeout per inning as expected. And now he's catching a Tampa Bay team that will strike out, one of the league leaders in strikeouts as a team. In a pitcher's park, Tropicana Field. So I definitely don't mind Chris Sale here, but I would like to feel a little bit better and reassured that his pitch count is solid. And then especially on a Fanduel mindset, I would like to I would like to at least think that 6 innings was coming my way to pick up that quality start. So something to wrestle with internally there. If you want to pick on Chris Sale, he'll allow some power to righties. A 2.25 home run per 9 so far, 15 innings, but I expect that to regress, probably getting closer to 1.5. So chipping a chair, guys like a Rosarena, Nelson Cruz, Wander Franco terrorizes lefties. He's got an incredible on base thing going on, so I don't mind a couple of these Rays here, but we don't have a confirmed lineup for the Rays just yet. It may come out a little bit weird. They have, I think, the most different lineups day to day, so keep an eye on that. Rasmussen, did your thing, dog. It's gonna be a no for me. I'm assuming that he's not like a fully stretched out beast. 58, 56, yeah. So there's probably no reason to get to a 50, 60 pitch guy against the Boston Red Sox. He's been pretty efficient with his pitches. Looks like he's pitching more so to contact. 1 strikeout against Philly in 5 innings, 3 and 4 innings against Baltimore. But there's really likely no reason to attach yourself or put yourself under a glass ceiling with a guy like Rasmussen. So if I'm grabbing bats from this game, I'm just cherry picking a guy that maybe can pop Sale for a little bit of power. And then Rasmussen has been essentially rock solid, extreme ground ball rate. Red Sox are 2 step forward, 1 step backwards when it comes to health. So I'm probably just staying away from this game in terms of stacks. I'd let the talented bats get plucked into the optimizer, and they fall where they might fall. But I don't think I'm committing myself to any stacks here. And that's all I got to say about that. We're getting poured on, but my prayers go out to Louisiana. Yeah, I got a homie in Louisiana that I've been trying to reach out to. He hasn't got back to me. I'm sure it's not a priority to to respond to Discord DMs, but definitely would like to know he's alright. Those of you that are old enough to remember the Katrina days, I always flash back to that whenever something like that happens, because that was scary. ABG, what's up, buddy? Sales of GPP lock. Length is scaring people off. Ownership, longer leash since this game will not be a blowout. I mean, that's a reasonable take, but I'd like to see like a quote from Alex Cora on it, right? All of his games have been pretty lopsided, so I absolutely will give you that. At the same time, like, I don't know. I would like to hear some coach speak to back that up, but yeah, it's definitely a correlation so far. Each game he's gotten incredible run support. And yeah, if you told me 110 pitches was on the docket, sure. Generally speaking, you don't expect more than 10, 15 pitches plus on whatever the last outing was. And he's somebody that they're probably going to be really, really cautious with building back up. So I don't want to put words in their mouth, but I don't think that's a crazy take, ABG. Let's move on to the next game. Tigers hosting the Athletics. Athletics with a 5.4 implied run total. Tigers 4.2. We got James Caprilian taking on Willie Peralta. The Tigers lineup did come out. It is confirmed. Caprilian on the bump for the Athletics. Man, this guy seems... This guy has one of the craziest but true splits going on game to game. And just watching that Yankee game in his last outing, it just felt like everyone that was left-handed was smacking him, and then the righties he was smoking, right? And then like even Brett Gardner homered off of him. It was so weird. So today the Tigers lineup comes out lefty, righty, lefty, righty, lefty, righty. So it is a pure stagger job here, which makes me a little bit cautious, but the $8,500 price tag on Caprilian does offer enough upside for me to think that he could take advantage of this team's 26% K rate against righties. So I'm willing to have some Caprilian in the player pool, but the fact that this lineup is over half lefties, and seeing how much he struggled against lefties, a 19.5% overall K rate to lefties, 5.6 xFIP, 1.84 home run per nine. I don't have the warm fuzzies here, and he hasn't exceeded 20 DKP since the Angels game. Everyone gets 20 against the Angels and then 30 against Boston. So there is probably a wider range of outcomes here than a lot of people maybe give credit for in terms of just underrating the Tigers. So I'm going to have some Caprilian in the back end of my pitching pool, but I'm not going to be overly aggressive with it just because this Tigers lineup came out the way it did, and Caprilian just has not been able to get through lefties at a favorable clip, and he also walks lefties at a 12% clip, and that's alarming as well. So something to keep an eye on. Also might be something to maybe get some contrarian Tigers bats out of. Robbie Grossman hit one yesterday. I do prefer him, I think, against lefties, but still has a little bit of power. Akil Badu, a 240 ISO against righties. This might be a really strong spot for him. Maybe jump on one of the first pitches. Outside of that, Nico Goodrum was reactivated. He's never been somebody to be overly fearful of. Jamie Candelario, the lineup itself isn't great, but the fact that a lot of them are coming out lefty does spook me a little bit on Caprilian's potential downfall, or at least lack of upside because of his splits against the lefties. Willie Peralta, extreme contact guy, 12% K rate to righties, 18.8% K rate to lefties. He's been more serviceable to lefties overall. 53% ground ball rate, just a 206 average allowed. Will allow some power here and there, but the righties is really where he struggles. 262 average allowed. Two righties, 142 home run per nine, walking righties at an elevated clip, and it's a dangerous lineup to start walking. We saw Josh Harrison lead off yesterday. Starling Marte, if you walk Starling Marte, you essentially just gave up a double. Matt Olsen against a contact pitcher, that's a problem. So the Athletics do profile pretty well for me in the grand scheme of things. A 5.4 implied run total. To put that in perspective, That's about the same as the Yankees, who will probably draw more ownership and interest, and a little less than the Blue Jays. So they're right up there as a stack that can get it done. Yesterday we saw it again. So yeah, you can give me the Athletics at a pretty decent clip here. I'm waiting to see what that lineup looks like. Mark Canha is somebody that we've seen demoted in the lineup lately. And then you know how this works. You demote somebody, then they do good. Yesterday he hit a bomb. Does he get reinserted into the top of the lineup? Do they stick with Josh Harrison? Was Josh Harrison just a platoon thing? Take him against a lefty. Very, very possible. So I'm very, very interested in seeing what this Athletics lineup does look like. Looks like there could be some wind blowing out to right field. Maybe that'll help boost the Matt Olsen uppercut against the contact righty here. He doesn't need any extra assistance. Because of Peralta's extreme ground ball rate, there's definitely some range of outcomes for some spoiler game going on, and the bomb detector isn't super favorable to many of these hitters because of the ground ball rate. But I'm willing to bet on some balls getting through some holes here, and Peralta maybe not lasting super long, and then that bullpen comes in. All bets are off. So Athletics, yeah, a couple of Tigers bats I can justify. No Peralta, and a little bit of Caprilian in mass entry. I don't think I get to Caprilian in like 20 or less just because of his lefty struggles, right? See what you guys got in the chat. Taking my shares of Derek Hill to the bank, cash my check. Derek Hill, sure, 2.6K. Man, it's not a super lucrative spot in terms of lineup potential, but hey, he's pretty cheap. Did he lead off yesterday, or am I tripping? I feel like he wasn't the 9-hole guy yesterday. 3 hits, 2 hits his last 2 games. Sure, 275. Did he have like a crazy profile coming into this game? Derek Hill. Holy Toledo. In the minors, he was batting 322. 4 bombs, 143 at bat. So yeah, I mean, like, he was a good hit for average guy. 865 OPS. Okay. Yeah. I'm not gonna point at you and laugh. I get it. I don't know if he would be somebody I would be crazy on. A's lineup just came out. All right, let's look at it. Let's look at it through the RunDFS.com MLB VIP Discord chat. Josh Harrison leading off against Starling Marte, Olsen, Chapman, Lowry, Tony Kemp, and Sean Murphy. Let me refresh my lineups page here. So Purdue would be a nice one-off. Yeah, he profiles decently against Caprilian, right? Taking advantage of Caprilian's weakness. So what do you guys say we update this Athletics lineup since we're here? Josh Harrison, Marte, Olsen, Matt Chapman, Jed Lowry, Mark Canha, Tony Kemp, Sean Murphy, and then Elvis. But if I was a sportscaster and I got to call an Elvis Andrus home run, you better believe I would say Elvis Andrus digging in the box. First pitch, whack, return to sender, address unknown, and when it lands, it's 1-0 Athletics. But he doesn't ever homer, so I can't ever, do that. So Harrison leading off is really nice, under 4K. Good speed guy. You get him on the bases. Get in front of a guy like Starling Marte. You might even see some double steal, something like that. Harrison got like 20 DKP yesterday. So I like him quite a bit in that lineup spot. Matt Chapman. What the heck? He's got a fast car, and he's got a hot streak that will win you some money. Last couple weeks, he's really turned it on. 2 bombs yesterday, 1 bomb every other game, right? So I think his month of August was a success, and now he's kind of been moved up in the order. Looks like Bob Melvin making some changes here, 1 through 4, looking pretty justifiable. Jed Lowry can round it off. I'm in on the Athletics stack, and I would be trying to find a magical number comparative to the field, just because maybe they aren't a secret. But I also feel like 3 guys over 5K right there in the top 4 might skew some things, especially if today's one of those slates where the field starts prioritizing pitching, since we have so many ace-like opportunities, right? Man, half the A's lineup is two on Fanduel. Yeah, Josh Harrison 2.7, Jed Lowry 2.5, 2.1 on Tony Kemp, Sean Murphy. Like I probably wouldn't play Sean Murphy. Yeah, Elvis Andrews, Like the cheap guys are the cheap guys for a reason. I would absolutely play some Lowry and Harrison though. What are you gonna say? What you said about Canna is actually what Chapman just went through. He slowly creeped back up to his normal batting area. Yeah, and that happens, man. I think you put a guy in the bottom of the order, they have less stress, less pressure, and you just swing the bat. And then, you start fixing your swing, your mental, and you get moved back up, and it happens. It cycles through, All right, let's move on to the next game here. The Royals hosting the Indians. We do have a Royals lineup, and we saw Adalberto Mondesi back in the mix. And looking at this lineup, I feel like I'm missing a name, but I think everyone's here. All right. Logan Allen's pitching against Jackson Kowar. Logan Allen, the contact lefty, just an 18% K rate to righties, 6.9%. Nice. K rate against lefties, high home run per 9 to both sides of the plate, a 42% hard contact rate to righties, 11% walk rate. This is a spot where Salvador Perez, not looking in the bomb detector, probably top 3. Just guessing. Maybe he has a ground ball rate to suppress it, but just having some fun with the bomb detector here. Let me reshuffle it and see what we're dealing with every day. I'm shuffling. Jose Ramirez has a 4.5, by the way. Salvador Perez number 2. So I know my creation. 4.4. Rating on the bomb detector. Does Salvador Perez. 6,200 for a catcher is a lot. I mean, I don't know if I can recall 6,200 or 6K for a catcher. Like maybe when Gary Sanchez first came up and he was on that stretch, he got there. But that's a tall glass of water to sip on. So the guy's almost doubled his Fanduel price. So obviously he's probably a better Fanduel value here. Wow. Yeah. Against Allen, like I said, elevated average allowed to both sides of the plate. So everyone's in play here. Royals have a 4.8 implied run total. One of the higher totals you'll see attached to their team. And then on the Indian side, Kowar, only 5 innings of sample size. So his low samples breaking the bomb detector for a guy like Jose Ramirez, who's also over 6K and not going to be cheap to get to. So I think for him, I do want to see if we can elongate on his stats and maybe project regression or progression. Not a lot to regress from here, but he is a 24-year-old righty, and in the minors, 80 innings, 115 strikeouts. So a big strikeout guy, 1.24 whip. What about splits? Are they going to present to me the minor league splits, or are they just going to give me the big? All right, they give me the minor league. See, some pitchers, they do that. 40 innings against lefties in the minors, a 203 average, a 104 ground out to error ratio, and 3 bombs in 40 innings. So 1 per 10 is usually like okay, like your average. So 3 and 40 is less than average. So he doesn't look like he's a guy that's susceptible a lot to the home run ball. And then 17 walks in 40 innings, maybe not what you want. Almost mirrors these numbers to righties, a little bit more of a elevated average, but the strikeouts are nuts. So Kowar, I think, is good. He just has bad results so far. Boston, Oakland, and the Angels. I can understand Boston and Oakland, but the Angels, it's unacceptable. Much like the Drew Rasmussen, though, it does appear that maybe we can't project a ton of pitches for him, but at the same time, maybe he's just getting shelled. Let's see what his innings look like in the minors. Honk honk. 3.2, 3, 1. So it looks like he is stretched out, but like he's had some struggles lately, man. Oh no, that's his last. Okay, so before his little big league stint, 5 innings, 6 innings. So it seems like conceptually he is stretched out, but he's been on the struggle bus. So does he get out the struggle bus? We'll see. I think I wait and see here, but it does look like we might expect him to start popping off for some more strikeouts in the not so distant future. I'm gonna wait and see. Indians, they do have half a lineup that can strike out with the best of them. Man, am I a wuss for not taking a shot here? Jacob Junis was doing all right yesterday. I guess it says when in his outings back in AAA after his big league blowups. So he got smacked by the Angels, Oakland, Boston. Then he went down and he went 3.2 innings against Iowa, and he gave up 6 hits in that game with 2 walks and 6 strikeouts. So the strikeouts were still there. Don't do it, Gun. Don't do it. Oh, don't do it. Yeah, I probably stay away. But like the mind of a strikeout pitcher exists here for Kowar. So I don't know. I guess we still we take advantage of him until he doesn't. Spacious Kauffman Stadium was nice to Ahmed Rosario yesterday. Got himself an inside the park home run plus a real one. One of the I think he was the best position player on the slate, not named. And then Blake Snell was your high scorer, right? So maybe he curtain calls that. Jose Ramirez is a professional hitter, 6,400. You got to go up there and get him. And then the rest of these guys that have some elevated strikeout rates, I'm kind of worried about them going against what I know is in Kowar's DNA. Logan Allen, 28 innings so far this season. He has allowed a lot of power to both sides of the plate. The ground ball rate is still high, like 46% to righties, 56% to lefties. But the balls that he is allowing in the air for righties is attached to a 42% hard contact rate. And that's not what you want. Just out of curiosity, what is the pull rate that he's allowing to righties as well? I don't know. Would you guys get to 6K Salvador Perez? Like 6Ks, I'm not going to say you need a home run, but like if I have a 6K bet and he gets a home run, I'm not that excited, right? That's kind of implied in the price. You know, you pay the top dollar for an offensive player. you need home runs, right? Because I'm gonna get home runs for my 2K guys too. Which, you know, in turn, value subjected. You lock the slate, you erase the numbers, but I don't know. Against righties this season, he's allowing a 49% pull rate. So pull side is the power side. So parlay that with a 42% hard contact rate and just a 4% infield fly ball rate. So, you know, when the ball is off the ground, it's hit hard, it's pulled, and yeah, Salvador Perez is as good as anybody at doing that. So I don't mind looking his way. Whit Merrifield's an interesting play. Mondesi's back at 4,700. Feels like a tall glass of water, but he is one of those guys that when he's at his best has a little bit of power and a lot of bit of speed. So at 4,700, he might fill out a stack here. You would like to see him higher in the order, but you see before he went down, it was a lot of double-digit performances. So I guess at least I don't get how like Byron Buxton comes back at 2,700. But like Mondesi comes back at almost 5K. I don't know how the algorithm works, but it does. So you can give me some Royals bats here. I had to do some like stringing together to like, you know, hand build some stacks that I like. So I probably just trust a robot here. But yeah, you can give me the Royals stack as a whole. They have one of the most scattered price structures of a stack I've ever seen. 5K, 3.5, 6.2, 2.9, 2.4, 3.4, 4.7. Like, they're all over the place, but that should make them at least easier to obtain as a stack. So give me some Royals bats here. I'm probably out on pitching. You can give me a little bit of the Indians. And that's all I got to say about that. What up, Adam's the name Wally World. See, Eric just joined. What's that? Wait, what? Yo, shout out to my boy Eric eating some chop. Julie, who's the most owned stack today? Any updates? So I don't like to look at field ownerships yet. I like to kind of process the information. I also don't have my personal ownership projection system, and I don't want to give away proprietary information. So I don't really have that here. I just guess, and I'm guessing Yankees, Blue Jays, guys, teams like that are probably going to be the most trendy. Let's move on to the next game. White Sox hosting the Pirates. Max Kranick is on the bump for the Pirates. Carlos Rodon on the bump for the White Sox. White Sox, a 5.7 implied run total. Might also be one of those sought-after teams here. Another thing we did here in the chat is a poll here. I'm kind of trying to gauge where you guys are at. And the poll was, what's the best GPP stack today? We got just over 20 votes. Yankees, Blue Jays, White Sox. A lot of you guys are on the Yankees here, so maybe that's a small sample of the field here. Maybe the field's also on the Yankees. The problem with the Yankees the last 2 days was their prices. Looking up at their prices today, it's still a problem. Only Aaron Judge is over 5K. The rest of this, the team is 4K or less, and that seems pretty easy to obtain. And then even Garrett Cole being under 10K seems like a problem, right? Max Kranick, you did your thing, dog, but that's going to be a no for me. Carlos Rodon, however, is very, very viable. Hopefully he lasts a little bit longer than Giolito did. Giolito, pulled his hamstring. What can you do? 10.1K here for Rodon. 36% K rate to righties. 33% against lefties. He's been really rock solid at home. A 36% K rate at the house. A 170 average allowed. Keeping the ball in the park. And just a 6% walk rate, which is incredible if you've known his body of work from the past. Is a fly ball pitcher, but doesn't allow a lot of hard contact. And this is a Pirates team that comes out really, really, really weak. They're shallow with the talent. So Rodon's absolutely going to be a fixture in my lineups today. At 10.1K, he has every bit of upside that the Garrett Cole has when he's on. Obviously, Garrett Cole's matchup is pretty nutty in terms of strikeout potential. But Carlos Rodon is really doggone good. He's averaging 25 fantasy points at the hizzy. Just dropped a smooth 35 on the Cubs, 39 on the Astros. That's way easier said than done. 27 on the Twins here. So you're seeing the upside in his game, and I think the upside is very, very possible here. And then maybe yesterday, since they had to go to Giolito a little bit earlier than they wanted to, maybe they try and get to 6 out of Rodon. How did they use the bullpen yesterday? Let's go look at the bullpen usage tab in the RunDFS.com MLB VIP spreadsheet. We're going to control F the White Sox. White Sox, so yesterday they had to lean on Aaron Bummer, Liam Hendricks, Michael Kopech, Craig Kimbrell, Ryan Tepera. I don't know how often Kopech has pitched in back-to-back days, so maybe that's a tell that he wouldn't go today, and he's pitched 2 of his last 3 days, so you might see Kopech get stayed away from. Liam Hendricks has also gone 2 of his last 3 days, but I don't think that's as big of a problem. But Kimbrell might be the closer today. We'll see. So I don't know who to project as a long reliever if things came out, but Garrett Crochet could come in after. So maybe they let or they expect Rodon to go 6, and maybe they can stretch 7 out of him to kind of alleviate any type of extra exhaustion. Rodon's a good play. 10.1K. Give him to me. Kranick, a 1.8 home run per 9 to righties, a 48.6% fly ball rate. That is not what you want. Lewis Robert, I'm expecting him to outperform his big performance yesterday. Of 0 DKP was a better real life play yesterday for that game than a DFS play. Yasmani Grandal picking up where he left off. One of the biggest egregious discrepancies from Fanduel to DraftKings is Yasmani Grandal being 2,800 on Fanduel, 5,500 on DraftKings. So he's going to be one of my highest owned highest owned Fanduel players. Because of that, I just feel like that's I can't avoid opportunity, unless he's not in the lineup and they give us, one of their other catchers. But it's a big upside at that price point. And then everyone else on the White Sox, pretty self-explanatory. Unlike some of these other teams, you're not getting any 6K players to really, really make that stack harder than you want it to get to. So White Sox stack absolutely in play. One of my favorite spots to get to. Wind blowing out to right field, it looks like. Not really going to help the righty. I guess it would help the righties go oppo, but maybe Yasmani Grandal gets a little extra boost to pull it from the left side. Kranick has not allowed a homer to a lefty yet, but that seems a little bit more luck than anything. 40% fly ball rate. I guess we'll take a minute to pull up his card. It just seems like it's more luck than anything. Dude, Wally's on one. What the heck? I still feel like I know who that is. So I don't want to ban him because I think it's somebody, a friend. But it is some sus stuff. I have to sneeze. Thoughts. All right, batted ball data for Kranick against lefties. 28% hard contact rate. What's the pull rate looking like? 44% pull rate. And then the home run to fly ball rate being 0% on a 40% fly ball rate and just a 70% infield fly ball rate. Yeah, it just seems like it's a little bit more luck than not. So you can give me Yasmani Grandal without any real hesitation here. Kranick's xFIP really, really high to both sides of the plate. So White Sox for sure. If you wanted to pick on Rodon, I really don't know what his weakness would be to say, hey, this is the guy that really takes advantage of his problem. I guess the 244 average to lefties, but we're not going to do that. So no Pirates sticking out for me. This is a big spot for Rodon. Hopefully he gets us what we maybe anticipated Giolito to do for us yesterday. Moving on to the next one. Twins hosting the Cubs. And Twins, Byron Buxton leading off. We do have a confirmed lineup. Let's get that in. Jorge Polanco, former Yankee great, Rob Refsnyder, Josh Donaldson. I vouch for you, bro. I vouch for you. Nah, anytime I hate when a homer call draws a walk. It's so frustrating. Like I had Mike Zunino the other day against, I think it was Spencer Watkins over the weekend. Was it Sunday? Him and Jordan Luplow. 1 and 2 on the bomb detector. Luplow homered in his first at bat, but Mike Zunino drew a walk in his first at bat. I'm like, do you know how bad you got to be to walk Mike Zunino? God dang it. Josh Donaldson, Miguel Sano, Brent Rooker, Ryan Jeffers, Williams Astudillo, and Andrelton Simmons. That's your confirmed Twins lineup. They are calling up Joey Ryan, and I don't mean the now blacklisted wrestler. I mean one of their prospect pitchers. He's been pretty solid in the minors. He's going to get an opportunity to go against the Cubs lineup that looks a little bit like a minor league lineup. So let's show you his body of work. We've got 14 games in the minors, 13 games started, 66 innings, 92 strikeouts with a 0.79 whip. Is that bad? No, it's not. Last couple of starts, we've seen him go 5 innings, 4 innings, 7 innings. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you guys. I might be playing copious amounts of 5K Joe Ryan a day. I just might do it against righties. 39 innings, 56 strikeouts, 141 average allowed. 27 innings against lefties, 214 average, 36 strikeouts allowed. 36 strikeouts, 7 walks in 27 innings to righties, 5 to righties, 7 to lefties, excuse me. The homers are a little bit of a problem. 5 homers in 27 innings, a little bit above what you want. And then 4 against 39 innings of righties. So he does have a little bit of home run bug as a fly ball pitcher. 0.59 ground out to air out ratio to lefties, 0.8 ground out to air out to righties. But hey, most of the best strikeout pitchers in the league have a little bit of a home run problem. So 5K for Joe Ryan, I'm in, bro. This Cubs lineup, I guess they have had a little bit more success lately. Guys like Ian Happ, Patrick Wisdom, menacing bats. But 5K seems like a really, really great opportunity to take advantage of one of the better prospects and one of the softer matchups conceptually that you could have as a pitcher right now. So 5K, I mean, what would you not take at 5K, right? If you get to 15, you are, as the data scientists say, Gucci fam. So I'll take Joe Ryan and I'll accept the results here. And I gotta be honest, I might get to tier 2 levels of Joe Ryan unless some like verbiage came out that, you know, they would be really cautious with him. But I don't really see like why you wouldn't just see what you got in him and let him go 5-6 innings. I just think he has a lot of potential. So yeah. Also out of curiosity, maybe you go look at what pitches he throws. I guess he doesn't have a... By the way, his last name is Ryan. Name one bad pitcher with the last name Ryan. Don't worry, I'll wait. Fastball 60-60, curveball 50-50, changeup, little work. The cutter 45. I mean, this is nuts. Yeah, we're playing Joe Ryan today. Colin Rodon mini O stack. Let's go. Another day. Wait, whoa. D Will's in the chat. Let me hold up. Pause. D Will, what the where you been? You just get out of county or something, bro? I haven't seen you in how long? Hello? No joy in Fanduel. He's not available. Yeah, DK is the only site that was preparing for this moment. White Sox, Blue Jays should have smashed, but hey, it's a new day. It's a new day. Yes, it is. A new day. Rocks. Abreu, Robert, Grandal, Goodwin. Let's go. I'm with that. No joy in fan. Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah. Give me Joe Ryan on DK. Justin Steele, 2.5 home run per 9 so far to righties. But his underlying metrics have been pretty solid. A really, really high ground ball rate, low hard contact rate to righties. That does spook me a little bit. Like, I don't think a 50% ground ball rate and a 19% hard contact rate is usually correlated to a 2.5 home run per 9. But I also don't think we have enough sample size of innings to expect or to properly project or expect regression or progression. Just I think we have done this study before on Justin Steele. But just out of curiosity, to see what his home run stuff in the minors was against righties. I don't feel like it was 2.5. I don't mind going back to try and get my money off of Josh Donaldson, Byron Buxton, guys like that. But I maybe not going to be as excited. So 20 innings against the righties. We've got one bomb. He's allowed one homer on the year. But yeah, 1.5 ground out to air ratio to left. He's 1.26. So yeah, I expect some regression on that number. So is what it is. I'm not too excited to get to the Twins. D Will says another day with the Twins going to be chalk and bust. Again, I haven't looked at ownership projections, but the Twins would be my first go. Like I would definitely like the White Sox more. Taking off the Yankee cap, I like the Yankees bats in the daytime against the kid. The Blue Jays against Matt Harvey, I feel like will always draw some ownership. So unless you've already been connected and you had the answers to this test, pre-flop, I wouldn't expect the Twins to be crazy amounts of ownership. So I don't know, maybe they are elevated because their prices are cumulatively too cheap. There's a lot of implied value outside of Polanco and Donaldson, who are kind of cheap individually. There's a lot of really, really soft pricing. So maybe they do end up higher owned just because of how cheap they are. And if it ain't Justin Steele, it's the Cubs bullpen, sure. But I feel like there's definitely other spots that I'd land on a little bit quicker. White Sox lineup did come out. We only have 2 games left, so we'll circle back on that in just a moment. Let's take a pause for the cause, get a little plugs out the way. PrizePicks.com, one of the partners of the channel, of RunDFS.com, of Gundacker Gaming. If you guys haven't seen it the last couple days, they have kind of soft rebranded, slicker design. The app is cooler to use if you have the app on your mobile device. Really, really aesthetically pleasing now, and they are a fun way to play DFS, almost like DFS meeting sports betting, prop betting, and you can put some put some action on a little bit of everything. They also have NFL Week 1 projections up. So if you are like me, you would probably anticipate that the earlier you get to some of these projections for Week 1, which is over a week away, the lines are never going to be as soft as they are now. 2 weeks, 9 days out, 10 days out on Week 1, right? So as an example, Ezekiel Elliott's at 71.5 rushing yards. They also have passing and receiving yards and fantasy score, and I believe their fantasy score for football is much like baseball in the fact that it parodies Fanduel. Ezekiel Elliott's listed at 16.2 fantasy points here. So if you think he gets a couple touchdowns, a couple of receptions, and maybe 100 all-purpose yards, he would clear that pretty handily. So I'm definitely gonna have a lot of fun betting some of these numbers here for NFL, and it might even be an opportunity to provide some more content that has a little bit more shelf life because of the fact that usually, like for baseball right now, when I go to bed, there's not a lot of lines out for baseball. So look out for that. But hey, you guys can go take advantage of that right now. If you go sign up using code GUNDACKER, you'll get up to $100 instantly matched on your first deposit. So if you sign up, use code GUNDACKER, you drop a 20 on it, there's $40. You can play around. You don't have to be sport exclusive, right? I could make a baseball click today. I could go and make a tennis bet. If you're into esports, CSGO, League of Legends is on here. They have MMA. They have friggin' cricket, bro. Cricket. Bet on anything over here. So go check them out. So a good way to further diversify your daily DFS spend and also reward the research that you're already doing. And it's not you versus 100, 150 lineups, 50,000 of the field. It's you versus the house. Make yourself a 2-pick card and see what happens. Let's move on to the next game. Brewers at the Giants. We've got Kevin Gausman on the bump against Brett Anderson, Brett the Hitman. Brewers have a 3.5 implied run total. The Giants 4.6. So kind of a low implied scoring game overall. Kevin Gausman's been pretty solid, especially in Oracle. 3.1 xFIP, a 30% K rate, 186 average allowed, and 0.81 homer per nine. The Brewers are a team that, if they if they swing and miss, they have a lot of 1-4s and a 1-5 K rates. Just Colton Wong and Lorenzo Cain, a sub 20% K rate. Lorenzo Cain did go Yabo Anoche, but Kevin Gausman's been a rock for the most part at the house. And I think under 9K for Gausman, there's going to be some interest for me. I really like the pitching on this slate. I think that we have a lot of opportunities at pitching. Last outing, 6 innings against the Atlanta Braves. Dude, I went Falcons and then Hawks, and then my brain was like, oh, Braves. One thing I want to I guess we'll talk about that next. But at home this season, averaging over 20 fantasy points. So 8,700, I mean, that's kind of the mark for me. If you get a pitcher that gets you over 20, I'm in. He hasn't done that in 4 games. So I understand the skepticism, the pushback, and there's so many other opportunities on the slate. But I'm not going to have 0% Gausman. So Gausman's in the mix for me. His weakness, not really super prevalent. Less than a 0.8. He's got a 0.81 overall homer per nine at the house, and it seems to line up pretty well. So I don't really want to go out of my way to pick on him. So it's just kind of, I'm gonna have more Gausman than Brewers more than likely. Brett Anderson, this one's a little bit more intriguing to me. The Giants have just a 4.6 run total, and I do feel like they could put together a pretty thick boy lineup when it comes to guys that hit lefties at a average plus clip. And Brett Anderson's a contact pitcher, 13.9% K rate to righties, 17.9% to lefties. Really want to focus on those righties because we could have some a really righty-heavy lineup for the Giants here. He's not a big power guy. He's got an extreme ground ball rate. But there's a chance for some of these Giants get some balls to sneak through some defenders. Austin Slater. I hate Austin. Buster Posey, Darren Ruff, Chris Bryant, Wilmer Flores, all guys that can make the mix. Did Evan Longoria get hurt again? I swear he came back, and I haven't seen his name floating lately. Yeah, he got hurt again. Unfortunate. yeah, a couple of those guys kind of stick out to me as potential plays today. I maybe don't go overboard with the stack at a high clip, but you definitely find me with a lot of one-offs here. And then Darren Ruff exists to hit lefties, right? He's kind of he's definitely like a platoon guy. He's pretty cheap on both sides. You probably don't get a ton of implied at-bats out of him. A lot of times they will switch him out, but sometimes they don't. And he's pretty cheap. And if you're going to put him in his 309 ISO against lefties since the beginning of last year against a 13.9% K rate, man, that's shipping a chair territory. And Brett Anderson doesn't have a 0 home run per 9, right? He's going to allow some bombs, and Ruff is definitely a guy that could be that dude. And Chris Bryant, the same song and dance. So I do have some loose Giants interest. I will point out that it looks like this game's going to be pretty pitcher favorable. I'm showing 56-degree temperatures, so that's going to really, really play more to the pitcher more often than it doesn't. Make the air a little bit more dense sometimes, and a little bit harder to get the ball out of the park. So a lot of reasons to be low on this game, and I am low, but I also feel like there's at least a decent percentage, maybe less than 5%, but still above 0% that the Giants can get through to Brett Anderson and be a solid stack. Let's get caught up on chat here before we move on to the last game. D. Will says, look at those DK prices, too cheap for the Twins. Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with that statement. I was just not, I'm still not sure that they're like the chalk, right? Gavin Sheets signing for the White Sox. What's up, Shalez? How many times is too many to roster Bucks that hope he eventually does something? You are at the slot machine. And you guys know the drill, right? You sit at that Byron Buxton slot machine, that Astros slot machine, whoever it is, whatever team it is, whatever player it is, you're pumping them quarters in that slot machine. You keep cranking, and you're like, all right, I'm not winning. And you get up, and you walk away, and you peer over, and there's old Edith. Oh, let's look at this. It's a Byron Buxton slot machine. She sits down, 1 quarter, crank, and Buxton double dongs, and you're like, that's my money. And then you're robbing an old lady, and it's all bad. So I don't know, man. I got the slot machine mentality. I don't like to get up and run away. But yeah, Max Scherzer up against Max Fried. It's the battle of the Maxes, max power and max capacity. And I'm out of max references. Dodgers and the Braves last night. Ozzie Albies, I think he fouled one off his knee. He was helped off the field. Don't expect him to play here today. He had MRIs. I think they did come back negative. But you take a Ozzie Albies-less Braves lineup that is already without Ronald Acuna, and you put them against Max Scherzer, this could be a problem. Max Scherzer is a monster, and he has the potential and probably the likeliest outcome tonight to be the highest raw scorer. Last couple games, 38, 25, 23, 17, 32, and he's just been a really, really big part of the Dodgers' push for the division. 7.2 innings against the Padres. I think Max Scherzer's in a massive spot here. Yeah, they still have like Freddie Freeman, guys like that could be a problem, and he will still allow an errant home run, a 1.5 home run per 9 to righties, maybe a Jock Peterson first pitcher or something like that. But the strikeout rates are still pretty high. I mean, this is why I wasn't against Walker Buehler and guys like that. Like, they still have strikeouts. So when Scherzer's on one, there's a 1-4 K rate here, almost a 25% overall team strikeout rate against righties. There's a world where Scherzer just feasts and beasts, wheels and deals, and he's your late night hammer, and you keep climbing up the more and more he goes off. So I will definitely have Scherzer's probably one of my top 3 pitchers, him, Cole, and I'll be honest, Joe Ryan. I might be a sucker, but I'm going for it. Those are kind of like 3 of my favorite privy pitchers to kind of fill out some lineups. And Carlos Rodon's in a smash spot. There's a lot of really good pitching spots today. So Max Scherzer's in one of them as well. I haven't got a pulse on the ownerships, but yeah, with those pitchers, maybe one guy kind of rises to the top. Maybe Scherzer or Cole rise to the top, and then I'd probably start dealing with the hedges and the leveraging and stuff like that. But this Braves lineup could be in trouble tonight. So Scherzer for me. Fried, on the other hand, I probably can make him extremely expendable, kind of like Steven Matz, right? And there's slates where I'll think about playing Max Fried, but he's completely expendable when you think about the competition on this slate at 9 to 10K. And you don't have to do a whole lot to go get him. He did have that huge game against Baltimore, but generally speaking, 20 or less DKP is probably the reasonable range of outcome. Maybe I'm giving him a little less credit than he deserves. There's a bunch of 20 pluses, but it is the Dodgers, right? Do I want to grit my teeth and bear against this team? Probably not. Sure, you can argue the Dodgers are weaker against lefties as a team, but looking at these individual numbers, I ain't seeing it, right? A bunch of 200 plus ISOs, a lot of 250, 260 averages, and a lot of K rates that are a little bit scrappy here. So I'm probably going to be out on the Fried train here. If Fried pops off, then so be it. Give me the Max Scherzer. I still feel like I always want to stack Dodgers just because this lineup is a friggin' all-star team. But 4.5 implied run total, I mean, they're giving Fried some credit too. So, I don't know, maybe that's something to think about, chat. Are you guys on the Fried side? Are you stacking Dodgers? When you think about the high upside offenses, not thinking about who they're going against, Yankees, Blue Jays, White Sox, Dodgers, like if they all had the same pitcher, like Dodgers get a decent chunk of ownership more often than they don't, and maybe Max Fried can bleed some red for us tonight. So I might be in on 5 to 8% Dodger stacks just to see what'll happen. I don't expect they're going to pick up a lot of ownership at this run total, but maybe I'm too light on Max Fried. Are you guys on Fried? Low hard contact rate, 50% ground ball rate to righties. I mean, I don't think it's impossible to do well against the pitchers. Let's see. Starting pitchers, DKP by game log versus Dodgers. Let's go last 10 games. All right, is there better games than I'm giving credit for, right? Tyler says Cole's going to be the highest scoring pitcher, Gun. Definitely could be. Josh, what up, Josh? Crucial game for Gausman. He's been struggling, needs to rebound. Definitely does. My number one DFS rule in MLB is never to play the highest salary pitcher on the slate because someone can always get close to their mark. But with ATL, Noah Acuna, Albies, and a bunch of others, you're never play the highest salary pitcher, guys. We're not the same, you and I. Usually, high salary pitcher means high floor, and I'll take the floor because I can offset the numbers from my offense, right? Antonio Senzatella did what? 27 DKP. Excuse me. What? Antonio Senzatella just did work against the Dodgers apparently. But Charlie Morton 24, Senzatella 27, 25 on Kyle Freeland, 33 on Blake Snell. So I guess maybe I'm I don't want to say overrating the Dodgers offense, but I'm underrating the range of outcomes that opposing pitchers have done okay. So, like, if you came at me with some Max Fried, I don't think I would exhaust too many resources to talk it down. It could happen. Right now, I don't want to water down my ownerships just to get Max Fried exposure, but I would probably understand it. Yeah. Shawn Michaels says, Joe Ryan. What up, Sean? I won't play nobody but Seager today on shortstop on Fanduel. Just saying. You like the lefty on lefty matchup for Seager? Shortstop on Fanduel. Let's see. Let's pull up the bomb detector here and see if there's any nuggets at shortstop on Fanduel that I'm sleeping on. I'm hungry. Should I DoorDash some Subway or should I just make a Hot Pocket? Make yourself a dang quesadilla. Ahmed Rosario at the top here, low sample size. Dansby Swanson. I guess shortstop is very bad. Bo Bichette, I guess, might be the leader. Yeah, shortstop is actually pretty tough. You don't get the, like, I guess Tatis was moved to outfield anyway, but I get it. Corey Seager here. Yeah, sure. Chat, I think what we're going to do here is we're going to go update some lineups. If you guys want to show me some love, hit that thumbs up. It is free to do so. I would surely appreciate it. If you guys had any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, drop them in chat, and we'll visit it. If you guys are on Twitter, twitter.com/Gundacker. If you guys want access to the spreadsheet, it is a premium perk of having a subscription at rundfs.com. Use promo code GUN when you sign up. You get 20% off. After you sign up, DM me on Twitter for now. I'll have it more obvious in probably 30 to 40 minutes after I go off the air to create a VIP portal on here. But it's in the like I had to launch it because of reasons, and it's live. So yeah, but if you're out of here, man, I appreciate your time. Hit that thumbs up. But I am still here for a little bit. Another 15 minutes or so. So if you guys have some thoughts that you want to share with the class, drop them in chat. And yeah, let's get caught up on lineups that did come out. Refresh the lineups page. DoorDash, treat yourself. I am hungry, like hungry. If you get DoorDash, I want something. Babe, why don't you order something? Give me the bacon chicken ranch sandwich, and then you get whatever you want, and then maybe by the time I'm done, it'll be at the door, right? All right, Athletics at the Tigers. Let's get those lineups. Oh, those lineups were already out. Move on. Indians lineup didn't come out. Did any lineups come out? I guess the White Sox lineup came out. That was the Lewis Robert, Yohan Makata, Jose Abreu, Eloy Jimenez, Yasmani, Brian Goodwin, Lurie Garcia, Gavin Sheets, Cesar Hernandez, extra Ian Sheets. Yeah, Gavin Sheets signing. So yeah, White Sox still look pretty strong here. They will be one of my favorite teams to go after. Twins lineup came out. That was it. We're still light on lineups here. So all we did was update one. What are you gonna do? I guess we'll look at the overall bomb detector here. Like I said, Jose Ramirez. I guess what I'll do here is I'll pluck out the low sample size. So if you do follow me on Twitter and I tweet this out, when I say that I pluck low sample size, it really just means like 4.45 for Jose Ramirez. Not saying that he's not in a good spot, but the algorithm that the bomb detector is based off of, it's considering batted ball data from the pitcher and the hitter. So it's really concentrating on the starting matchup, and a very low sample size, like 2 innings, could really make a not accurate number. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take out anyone under. I guess anyone under. We'll keep the 9 in there, and that'll take out a lot of names. So don't take that as Jose Ramirez is not a good play. Just take that as I didn't think there was enough sample size to recommend it. Even the 10s and 12s are not a lot of sample size here. So this is going to be a risky night to base off of the bomb detector numbers. What I really like to see is like the 80 pluses, the 50 pluses, the 100 pluses, right? That's when you have sample size built into the projection here. So take it with a grain of salt, as always, right? Let's get caught up on chat. How we doing, chat? You guys doing all right today? You guys staying safe? You guys ready for football? Let's talk. Best sandwich on the menu is the chicken bacon ranch. Yeah, let's go, baby. Give us some tournament plays, guns, says Justin Gonzalez. So I think Joe Ryan would probably be my favorite tournament play. The downside with Joe Ryan today, and it's kind of the case with baseball. Joe Ryan's a play that I would really like if this was one of those ugly SP3 slates, right? Because if Joe Ryan comes out here and drops 20 at 5K, yeah, I could take those victories in and of myself. But if Chris Sale, Garrett Cole, Max Scherzer, Carlos Rodon, like the top 4 guys could all drop 30. If they all drop 30, you're probably going to see double 30s in a winning lineup, and the 5K 20 is not going to matter, right? This isn't NBA. So I do wish that Joe Ryan happened on a slate that didn't have so much high-end pitching. But he's definitely a pitcher that I like individually, points per dollar based on his minor league DNA. In terms of tournament plays, are you thinking maybe like a risky bet at potential low ownership against a good pitcher? I guess Shohei Ohtani at 6,500. Maybe not a lot of people are going to run to play him against Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole does allow 1.5 home run per 9, 2 lefties. Ohtani just missed one off of him in Yankee Stadium, and this is a day game. Don't let that like slip through. This is like what 3-4 o'clock in California. Sun's out. So the ball might carry a little bit more than usual, and Ohtani can get maximum opportunities against Garrett Cole. He looked pretty rock solid yesterday, so he might be somebody to look after. I guess you could also put Jared Walsh in that mix to get into one off of Garrett Cole. I think that the Orioles righties are probably solid tournament plays. Steven Matz does allow a high average to righties. Not as much power as you might think, but in the scope of a tournament play, sure. Chris Sale has had a home run bug to righty so far. Maybe Nelly Cruz or Franco or Rosarena, one of those guys, get into one off of him. Basically, I guess the best tournament plays would be one-offs against the top 4 pitchers. Caprilian, he might offer some tournament plays, and what I mean by that, his lefty splits are really, really bad. So Kill Badu leading off here, he might really, really take advantage of these lefty splits and have a multi-hit game. So I kind of don't mind that. And that's kind of it. Everyone else, like all the stacks that I'm on, are probably pretty basic. It's the high run projected team totals, but I do like the Orioles and the Tigers as kind of a little bit of contrarian look, right? How do you feel about Matt Olson? So what I like the most about Matt Olson is he hits for incredible power, and one of his bugaboos is a 22% strikeout rate, which isn't even that bad. But when he hits the ball, I guess we'll pull up his batted ball data. He hits for power and he hits for the fences. And even though his opponent here, Willie Peralta, is a ground ball pitcher to lefties, there's still some fly balls to be had. And the fact that he is a contact pitcher and he's going to dare Matt Olson to put the ball in play, that lets me take a shot at the batted ball, right? The batted ball data says that Matt Olson does have one of the highest exit velocities in baseball and a lot of potential to put the ball in the air. So against righties, his batted ball data says that he has a 41% fly ball rate to righties, 18% line drive rate. He does hit the ball on the ground a lot as well. But yeah, if you're going to chip in a chair against a contact pitcher to elevate one, Matt Olson's fine. I didn't really think he was like a tournament play just because I feel like the Athletics are quasi obvious, right? He hits for average too. Yeah, Olsen's really solid. No Giants, no cash. All right. Everyone's putting in orders. Timeout. Kyle Sexton. I saw your name, but I just lost it. Favorite 2 DK GPP pitchers. Man, I think today I'm playing ceiling, right? Some days you go out there and chase those cores totals. Today I think there's likely 2 pitchers in this top 4 that can get you 30, right? Max Scherzer. If I had to rank them, I hate to be a homer here, but I don't know. Maybe this Angels lineup comes out different. But this Angels lineup just has so many potential strikeouts. And this has kind of suckered me into a little bit of Tyone yesterday, but Tyone's not a strikeout guy. Look at these. The lowest K rate here is 27%. And that's nuts. So Garrett Cole could have another 10-plus strikeout game. And I feel like he might be from Cali, so maybe a little hometown narrative. But don't quote me on that because I'm not 100% sure on that. So Garrett Cole's probably my favorite guy, points per dollar, and shot at 30. And then Max Scherzer kind of sticks out, but Carlos Rodon as well. So those guys, the Chris Sale pushback here, somebody mentioned in chat, maybe it's a correlated to his offense having such a strong lead in each start. But I am a little bit spooked by the 70, 80, 90 pitches, right? I'd love to see 100, 110 as the tiebreaker to some of those other top 4 price pitchers. But maybe that makes them a little bit more lucrative in terms of ownership and leveraging against the rest of the field, right? What else we got here in the chat? Cole is from Texas. Okay, so I was way wrong. See, when Cole was a free agent, there was a lot of linkage to the Angels, and I don't remember what the reasoning was. I don't know why I assumed that it was like he was from there, but appreciate that correction. Want drinks? No, I don't want any drinks. Just the sandwich. I appreciate you. Tampa Bay lineup did come out while we're talking about Chris Sale. We got Rosarena leading off, Nelson Cruz, Franco, Yandy Diaz, Manuel Margot batting fifth. Mike Zunino chipping a chair, may connect. Oh, dude, they put out the dogs. A lot of strikeouts, but a lot of power, right? Jordan Luplow, 311 ISO against lefties. Zunino, 284 ISO, but he's got 33% K rate. 200 ISO for Franco, 350 for Nelly, 270 for Rosarina. So you guys are asking about tournament plays. I mean, Chris Sale has allowed some homers to righties, so there could be a world where the Rays stun us. The Rays have been playing incredible baseball the last month. I mean, just crazy baseball. One of the best winning months of August I think we've seen out of a baseball team ever, right? That's it, man. I think that is it. It's 3:30? I guess we did all right on time. And you guys have crushed it again. Another really strong stream. Again, if you guys are in the line of this storm cell, man, stay safe. You know, that's all I ask. I want you guys here tomorrow. I want you here the next day. I want you here next week for NFL Week 1. If you guys got anything else for me, twitter.com/Gundacker is how you guys can reach out to me. Hit that thumbs up. Cole in Newport Beach. That's what I thought it was. Yeah. I've been in best ball streets. No, I prefer season long. I like the managed teams and the trash talk, weekly trash talk. It is what it is. Maybe I'm missing out, but I do prefer season long. Guys, I appreciate you guys making part of your day, part of my day, and vice versa. I hope you crushed it tonight. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. I love you guys. Good luck. God bless, and go win some money.